Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Rage Against the Regime at Blog Talk Radio. To call in, dial 929-477-3565. That's 929-477-3565. I was born in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. I'll bleed American blood until the end of my days. The red, white, and blue, these colors never fade. Rage against the regime.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in and listening tonight. This is KC Massey. I'm coming to you live from South Padre Island. Went to court today, and it was an experience. I know that the feds really love me. We went to go to court today, and first we walk up to the court, and there's like heavily armed DHS agents everywhere, ATF, bomb sniffing dogs. They had a sniper on the roof go through, and everybody that went to court with me, they got real extra attention going through the gate. It was extra special touching, extra special wanding. It was an experience. Then we get in court and we go in there, and the bailiffs. Normally, when I've been to court before, there's one bailiff, and then you got the U.S. attorney, and you have the prosecutor, another prosecutor with the U.S. attorney, then your attorney. You got a court reporter. This time they had 5 bailiffs, a couple of marshals, a couple of court security. It was a pretty extensive security deal. It was amazed, man. James, you with us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Telling people, yeah, I can hear you good. I was just telling people about all the extra attention got today at court. You know, we pulled up outside. I had a security detail, and they dropped me off at the front door, and I went straight up, went into the courthouse, and I was like, holy crap. I said, what's the deal? There's some protest or something today? They're like, nope. Y'all here for me? Yep. I was like, golly, man. Ain't nobody going to cause any problems out here. But, man, they were there to be witnesses. Frogman counted there was 18 feds on the ground around the courthouse. Heavily armed, machine guns. They had the full battle rattle on. They had their, external vest, plate carriers, Heckler and Koch, automatic weapons, M16. It was almost like the day they took me down, except they had more that day. And it's like, when you go into the court, my dad went to court with me, and, they take your keys and they go through everything you got in your pocket. I mean, you can't have a fingernail clipper. They took his P38 off the keychain. I mean, what are you going to do with a P38? My brother said, he's going to open a can of whoop ass, I guess. Man, it was crazy. I mean, I don't understand how the federal government can justify spending so much money for my benefit. When they come arrest me, they come so heavy. Then I go to court, and they're coming at me, with all this extra added security. I mean, the amount of guys that were there, they could have shut down 10 miles of border with all those men. And instead of working at the border and shutting down the border, they're up there at court standing around trying to look tough. But when I came out of court, I was out there, and I went and stood next to one of those guys and said, I'm going to stand by you. He looked at me. I said, yeah, in case the bullets start flying, I'm going to hide behind you. He said, I don't get paid enough for that. I said, yeah, you do, man. You're here to serve and protect. And you're going to protect because I'm going to hide. Somebody tries to kill me, I'm going to hide behind you.
Yeah. It's, man. Well, what they don't understand is people come to be witnesses and that to witness how they're treating you. And those people will go back and they will tell their people, this is what they did. Don't listen to what they're putting out on the radio or the TV or anything else. This is the unmitigated truth. And, try to justify that. Like you were saying, if they'd have put them out on the border, they can't do that because that's productive. So, and God help them, I'm so glad that they're being safe. They're kind of being safe around the wrong people, but at least they know how to be safe.
Well, I was just, amazed at the amount of manpower and the amount of money that it costs to have that amount of cops standing there with fully automatic machine guns. I mean, I've never made any threats. I mean, I've got plenty of video and audio of the interactions with Border Patrol and the federal agents, and they all say that how respectful I've been, how law-abiding I've been, that I've never caused any problems, I've never caused any harm, but yet they're treating me like I've threatened the government, like I'm a threat to the government, like I'm a threat to American society. I mean, I don't understand the narrative. I don't understand why they're coming at me like this. I mean, I'm not a threat. I love my country. I love my fellow citizens. I don't like illegal invaders that try to crash and destroy our country, that are coming here and bleeding our system dry, that are coming here to wreak havoc upon our citizenry. I mean, I just don't understand it.
And they're not coming here to adopt the American way of life. They're not coming here to be Americans like Saad or any of the other people, Dinesh D'Souza. They're not coming here to be a part of America, to take part in the American dream. They're coming here to bring their flags from their countries, and just like that gal that they're trying to get, in there in Eric Holder's spot, she's already said she came to America to change it into where she was leaving from. And that's not what being an American's about. We've got a set of ideals that are set down in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and, that's what we stand for. We're not up for, you bringing in Sharia law or anything else. And then they want to say, well, the Mormon Church has their rules and that kind of stuff, and people abide by that. And then the Catholic Church, you've got to go through them to get a divorce, through their. But all of those are subservient to American courts. They're not above them. They're not set aside from them. That's not how it works. So trying to put them on the same even keel as either the Mormons or the Catholic Church or any other churches that have a strict set of guidelines for divorce. Whoa, somebody's got a crying baby.
Yeah, y'all. I'm poolside here at the hotel, and so
Quit
there's a little.
Him.
It's a little girl
Quit
down here.
pinching that baby, Casey.
Her mama's not letting her have her way, so she's throwing a little fit. Now Mama's fixing to take her away.
Oh.
Live radio at
it.
poolside in South Padre Island. You can hear it all.
Woo! Cool. Well, that's the nice part about this. You can actually do your radio show from anywhere.
Yeah. The wonder of technology. It's awesome. But
it's fantastic.
I just don't understand why the government takes me as such this worthy of spending all of our taxpayer money to try to intimidate me or the people that come with me. I mean, I don't understand.
Big word.
Like I said, I've never, ever threatened my government. I've never threatened anybody, period. Not even the illegals did we ever threaten. I treat everybody with respect. I treat people with the same respect that I want. And for the government to come after me like they have been and to treat me like they have been, it's flooring. I cannot. It's like I'm almost living in a twilight zone. If I missed out a part of my life and I did something that I don't know that I did, I mean, was I in a trance or something. I mean, I do not understand where all this is coming from. All I did was try to stand up on the border and defend my state and my country. And now I'm being looked at like I'm some heinous, crazy criminal. And it's like, I can't even believe it. I mean, how can this really be happening? But I assure you it is. It's like a nightmare that I can't wake up from. It's like, I don't know, man. This is probably one of the most screwed up parts of my life ever. And all I did was try to do the right thing, It's amazing.
Well, I can say one thing. You were blessed to get the judge that you've got in that. And I think that whenever he finds out that their sworn statements are lies, that he may take a really dim view of that. I'm hoping that everybody gets an opportunity to see just how far that they went to malign you.
Well, I mean, I don't even understand where the government gets off, coming at me the way they have. Like I said, I've never done anything that would be terroristic toward my country or toward the government,
No. Not that I've ever seen. So.
Well, you've known me a long time, so.
Well, I've not only known you a long time. You the camp and that had a set of SOPs and everybody had to follow them, and they did follow them. The ones that couldn't follow them were sent down the road. And it's just some of the things that just leave you standing there scratching your head. How in the world can it be this topsy-turvy and bass-backwards?
I don't know, man. Like I said, it's still amazing to me that it could be this way. How things have evolved, escalated, changed. I just don't understand it. I think we got one of the guys that was out there today. I believe this is I see my bandanas on here. I believe that's bandana. Let me see if it's him.
Oh, right on.
Bandana, is that you? Hello? Hello? Bandana, are you there? That's him. That's his name. Oh, okay. Where's Bandana at?
I'm here, Casey. What's going on?
Hey, man, why don't you tell everybody what you saw today, brother? Won't you let them know what you observed? Because, I don't want people to think that I'm just being melodramatic or exaggerating. So,
well, what I observed was some very armed federal agents outside the courthouse. I saw a sniper on top of the building, bomb-sniffing dogs, and we asked them, we said, is there some threat other than us that there's such high security here today? And the answer was nope, just you guys. Now, people need to understand that we are law-abiding constitutional people. We are not after anything wrong in any way, shape, or form. We simply want our government to follow the laws that they are supposed to be following and stop making their own rules.
Yep. I couldn't have said it better. I mean, but we've never posed any threat. None of us posed any threat to them. I mean, when we all went into the court, I mean, we all went through metal detectors and they wanted us. And I mean, there's no way that there was any threat by us. You know what I'm saying? Nobody acted threatening. Nobody acted disrespectful. We all showed the courthouse, the federal government respect, and they treated us like we were, Charles Manson or something.
Absolutely, Casey. That's one thing that I didn't mention is inside the courtroom, they had what I've seen, 15 to 20 armed security inside the courtroom. We like you said, we went through metal detectors. We took our shoes off. We took our belts off. What threat did we pose inside that courtroom?
None.
Or ever make to them in the first place? None.
No, you got that talk too, didn't you? Where the federal marshal was going telling everybody, now look, you can't stand up, you can't chant nothing, you can't say nothing. You have to sit there and be quiet. It's like, man, are y'all serious? Y'all think we're that dumb that we're going to disrupt, especially my court? You know what I mean?
Right.
The last thing I want to do is piss the judge off. Everybody was respectful. Everybody was calm. I don't know.
What is this?
It was amazing to me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Casey. We would have never done anything to put your day in jeopardy, and we've always been nothing but respectful for the law. The problem is that they don't give the same respect back.
And
Yeah,
that's getting to be more and more prevalent.
I mean, it was just, like I said, I'm still beside myself in amazement how they acted. You know what I mean? And how they were set up. Like, man, I'm scared if somebody was to throw a firecracker out, they probably would have shot me.
No, I agree, Casey. I am just shocked at the way this is being handled. We know that there was a valid threat put against you that you would not make court today. Did they have any concerns or worry about that? No, they never even mentioned it. They acted like we were the enemy, like we were the threat. But you know what, brother? Patriots, you know who we are. We stood with you. We're going to make sure you're safe. We're not going to ever leave your back, brother.
Yeah, I know it was crazy. I mean, it was insane. Like I said, man, I cannot believe that somebody would talk to us and do us like that. I believe I got Justin on the line. Let me see real quick. Is this you, Justin?
It sure is.
Hey, brother. This is another brother that was there with us today. Why don't you tell people what it looked like from your perspective?
Well, me being the one and only guy that was actually armed there, well, I might say it was pretty fucking scary. But you know what? If they would have fired upon me, I would have fired back. And what really fucking pisses me off is the sheer fact that everybody that said that they were coming did not come. I was there by myself. One other guy that was at the vehicle to back me up could not see me. And guess what? I was there to fend for you and the others that were there. I'm extremely disappointed in the fact that people said that they were going to be here and they weren't. Guess what?
Yeah,
if the shit would have hit the fan today, I would have been the only one really fighting because I was the only one armed.
Lawfully. Let's get that in there so they understand that, because they're going to play this back on their tapes and that. And what people need to understand is that you were well within your rights doing what you were doing and where you were at.
And just for the record, Frogman is a CHL holder. He was legally able to have a firearm. He was conducting perimeter security because there had been a threat against my life. So he was standing out on the perimeter should somebody try to come up and attack me. It was not to attack the government or to mess with the government. It was there for my protection. And there was guys that said that they were going to be there and help do the perimeter security, and Frogman was the only guy that was out there to do it, and the other guy that was at the vehicle with other backup in case it was needed. But, and I really appreciate you, Frogman, because you did. You stood alone. You stood by yourself out there. Everybody else came into court with me, and so, he was the only person out basically holding me outside down. If somebody would have came up and tried to take me out, assassinate me or whatever, he was the only guy there. So I do appreciate you, brother. It means a lot.
Go into that a little bit in more detail, Casey, because I don't think people understand that the threat was made against your life being back down there.
Yeah, there had been a threat that was relayed to me through some of the guys down here in the South Texas militia that said that when I went to court today that I would be assassinated, either going in or coming out. And so, I mean, they're the ones that brought the threat to my attention. They're from down here, so we assumed that, they had done their due diligence to verify the threat and to try to handle it. But, then, like I said, they wound up not even showing up, and Justin was out there basically by himself doing the perimeter security to make sure that, nobody tried to run up on me or our crowd when we came out of the court. So he was the only man standing, really. But when I came out of the court, I went and stood by one of those DHS guys that was sitting there with a machine gun and full battle rattle. I said, I'm standing by you in case somebody tries to shoot me. I'm going to let them shoot you first. Oh, they don't pay me enough for that. I said, that's your job, man. You're a public servant, man. You got the gun and the bulletproof armor, so I'm hiding here beside you. He didn't think it was that funny.
I bet not. Well, apparently they knew about the threat because they weren't going to stand out there naked, and what I mean by naked, in just their standard bulletproof armor and stuff. They must have been expecting something a little heavier than a handgun.
Oh man, those guys, they had external ballistic vests. I mean, battle rattle. Look, plate carriers with, armament. They were with Heckler and Koch fully automatic machine guns, M16 machine guns. I mean, there was one lady there. She looked like she was trigger happy, ready to shoot. Boy, that woman kind of scared me. She was looking real deadly serious, man. And she kept eye on all of us.
Hey, KC.
Yeah.
Did you mention the fact that they had a counter sniper on me the entire fucking time?
Yeah, that's what Bandana was telling people. I said it too, but now here's a third confirmation, folks. They had a sniper on the roof. There was a sniper on the roof, and he wasn't there to protect the American people. He was there to kill somebody, and I don't think it was anybody coming to do me harm. I think he was, like Frogman said, I think it was trained on him. And he wasn't there to do anything but make sure that somebody didn't shoot me.
Yeah. Oh, I saw him. He peeked over, and I saw him real quick, and he hit real quick.
I mean, can you imagine how much money that cost us as taxpayers today when the federal government had all those guys stacked up out there like that? I mean, really? And, I had the mayor of my city, Mayor Brock. He came by and he came down with us, and he went to court with me. And when we all loaded up, he didn't get in the right car, so he got left momentarily. And he said as soon as we pulled off, all the DHS agents piled into their Tahoes and took off. So they were there specifically for me, because as soon as I left, they left, and they still had court the rest of the day. So I mean, there's no doubt that they were there for me.
Maybe they followed you back to the motel or over to Padre or something, just to keep an eye on you.
I don't know, man. Like I said, for me, it was just purely, simply amazing that we were treated that way. I mean, they looked at us like we were criminals. I mean, a couple of the guys were really cool. They talked to me. I'm the kind of guy I kind of force conversation on people, especially if I know that you don't want to talk to me. Then I'm going to make you talk to me.
I tell you what,
so
they were definitely more scared of us than we were of them.
And that's what's scary. When they're that scared, just like that friendly fire incident on the border that sparked all this stuff, That was a scared man. I mean, if you're 30 feet away from somebody and you're popping off 5 rounds and you can't hit them, how terrified are you?
I think the funniest part was when I walked right up to the front door. They knew. Every one of them knew I was armed. And I looked at all of them right in the face. Fuck you guys.
Well,
I can tell you guys that DHS did not follow us back to the hotel. They didn't follow us. We had security in place, and we wouldn't have taken him back if they would have been following us. It's a sad situation when true patriots stand up in this country and try to do something, and this is where we're at.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, it's a sad commentary on the state of affairs.
Well, I mean, when we were at Camp Lone Star, man, we were running 5-6 man crew. They had 3 times that there. I mean, just imagine what we did on the border if they would have put those guys on the border and used the tactics we did, which is actually stand on the border, actually observe the border. How much illegal immigration they could have stopped with the same amount of money that they wasted at the courthouse on me.
Gee, absolutely.
I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't understand it.
All I can say is they're a bunch of fucking cowards. Excuse my language, but I'm pretty upset about the entire situation.
And with just cause. I mean, there was no excuse for it, especially the way they treated us. I mean, there was just no excuse for that. None of us had ever posed them a threat. None of us had ever done anything that should deserve the type of scrutiny that we received. I mean, I've never, and none of y'all have ever threatened the government. You know, all of us, every one of us on the line right now, we all did our time protecting the border and trying to stop the illegal invasion. You know, most of us have served in the military and served our community, and they treated us like we were hardened criminals. You know, I mean, John Wayne Gacy, or I bet you Timothy McVeigh didn't have as much security in and around the court as we did. I mean, a sniper on the roof, for real? And that's just the one we saw. I mean, it was crazy. But I definitely want to thank all you guys that were part of the security detail, trying to make sure that I made it there safe and I made it home safe, and I did. So, you know, I appreciate the hell out of it. Thank you guys a lot, man. It means a lot to me. You know, in a time when you have doubts about, you know, the patriotism of this country and the patriotism of the people involved, you know, you've shown me time and time again, you guys are the real deal. And y'all have stood by my side through thick and thin. You were with me on the border. You know what we did down there. And you stood beside me going through this unlawful, illegal crap that they're putting on me. You risked your lives with me more than once. You know, on the border, we risked our lives together. And you've risked your lives again to provide me security. And it's truly, greatly appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
Well, brother, you know how I feel. You're a true brother of mine now. I wouldn't let nothing happen to you. If they're going to take you out, they're going to take me out.
Yeah, but it's a shame that we're even at this point. You know, all we ever did was try to do the right thing. All we ever did was try to protect our country, protect our country's borders. Yeah, I mean, now all I'm stuck, you know, is being verbal. You know, I can't do anything. I can't go anywhere. I'm still under house arrest. I've still got a GPS monitor on my leg. You know, I'm still unable to do anything other than use my mouth. But I'm not going to quit. I love this country. I love my citizenry. And it's my duty, and just like you guys feel the same way, it's our duty to pass on the freedom and liberty that we were given to the next generation. And that's all we're trying to do is stand up for our country, for our rights. And I think that's what scares them more than anything, is that they realize that we are the ones that will stand no matter what. We stood against, 20 federal agents heavily armed with machine guns, and we didn't waver, none of us. We just walked in like it wasn't anything. And I'm proud of that, man. That's one of my proud moments of my life. That is definitely something that I'll never forget.
Casey, you're right. You touched on something. I got 9 children. Most of them are about grown. I've got 5 of them over 18. The rest of them aren't so far off. But it's about them. It's about passing the freedom on. It's about our children being able to have the same freedoms that we haven't enjoyed our whole lives.
Absolutely, and not diminish one iota.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too. Like, here we are, you got Bandana here. This man's got, 5 kids still at home, got work still, back home. He drove all the way from Indiana to come be with me and to help me. I mean, he could have come up with a million excuses, but just like on the border, he never came up with an excuse. He came up with a solution, and that's bring his ass here and do what was needed to be done to defend this country. Frogman has a young son. He's still a toddler. I don't even think he's in school yet. And he was here. He's got a job. He worked when I was working the border back to Vaughn Army. Every day that Frogman had off of work, he was on the border. He was spending a ton of his money, his gas, his resources to come defend the border. And he lived in San Antonio, man. He had a 6+ hour drive just to get to the border. And he was there. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, well, I got a job, I got kids, I got that. We all have that. We've all had that same issue, but the difference between us and a lot of other people is we haven't let that be an excuse to stop us from acting. We have acted and been there and did whatever we needed to do and stood strong and proud.
Damn right.
I just wish we could get more Americans involved, man. There's a lot of respect.
Casey. Years and years and years ago, when our forefathers, I'm not sure who said it, but wars are not fought by fatherless men, as they are not this day and age. If you have children and you want them to enjoy the freedoms and know the country that we knew as kids and grew up and enjoyed, at some point you must make a stand. You must, or your children are not going to know the country that we have known.
And I believe today or yesterday, Thomas Paine
I want to be clear about something, because people have this messed up idea that all these patriots that went to the border, why aren't they having? Where's their jobs? Why aren't they working? Well, you know what? I had a good construction business before 9/11, and it's only went down and down and down and down since. And you know what? I find myself without work, but you know what? I still put my foot on the ground because I'm without work because of the situation in this country.
I think it was today, or maybe it was yesterday, was the anniversary of Thomas Paine's famous saying, "Give me liberty or give me death." And I'm proud to be associated with and have such good patriots like all you brothers on the line right now in my life and in my circle. And if it was up to us, we would do whatever we could do, but we're just a small group. We need more involvement from people. We need people to be able to stand up and say, you know what? It's time that we stood together. We stand in solidarity. And that doesn't mean stand and go do something stupid. Look at Anthony Bosworth. I mean, look at the example those guys are setting in Washington State.
Perfect.
And
exactly.
Anthony, I love his saying, you take an inch from us, we're going to take a mile back. And they've stood up to the federal government. They stood up to him in Washington at the federal courthouse when they arrested Anthony. 2 weeks later, he goes back up there to the same spot with 50 men, and every one of them had a gun. And they said, do it now. Come arrest one of us now. And the feds didn't do a thing. They left them alone. They peacefully had their words, their rally, and then they went home. So, we're not looking for fights. We're not looking for trouble. We're looking for liberty. We're looking for the rights that were granted to us by God. We're not trying to take anything from anybody. We're not trying to get any extra special privilege or treatment. We just want what is guaranteed to us and articulated in the United States Constitution. And that's to be able to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. To be able to be our own men, to do our own thing. As long as we don't trespass upon another, how can that be wrong? That's all we want, is to be free men, to be able to be free, love our neighbor, love our fellow countrymen, have pride in our country again, and look out and defend each other. This has gotten so insane, the way the government's turning against us, the American patriot, the people that love this country.
Amen, brother. I couldn't have said it better. And, I think people really need to dig in and take a look at what founding fathers went through when they signed the Declaration of Independence. It wasn't something easy. They spent hours and hours and hours because they knew what they faced. I'm not sure people know this, but they faced death by hanging, almost to death by hanging, and then they would be taken down and tortured further if they signed that Declaration of Independence. They had the guts to do it anyway. Where is that freedom? Where is that the same outlook that this country was founded on? Where are the patriots? Where are the men of this country?
Where's that intestinal fortitude now?
Well, it's just like, and I'm not going to mention any names, but all of us on the line know who I'm talking about. There was a certain patriot that was running his mouth, talking a real big game up to this court date, talking all this tough guy stuff. And then he never showed up, we got to get rid of these people that run their mouth, that don't put their actions behind it, because they jeopardize us, because they're the ones that make the government look at us crazy, because they say crazy shit, but they don't stand beside or behind anything. They just run their mouth. This one guy posted that there were going to be militants there doing my security. I told him, hey, dude, you got to take that shit down. I don't deal with militants. I will deal with the militia. I will do anything with the patriot Americans. I don't want anything to militants or the people like Boko Haram. Those are militants. They're people that use their military might to smash on other people. Or at least that's my interpretation of militant. And I don't want to be associated with a militant.
And you're not. That's harsh.
No worries, Casey. I'll deal with that when I get home.
Well, sometimes some people, we just need to cut them loose because they're giving us a bigger black eye than they are any help or credit. They're the ones that discredit us. They're the ones that make us look bad. They're the ones that, perpetuate this bad tone that, the feds are using to justify coming out with 20 federal agents when I go to court.
Yeah.
20
feds against one man.
Right? And all we wanted was to make sure that I made it in the court and got out of court. We weren't looking for a fight with the government. My fight with the government right now is in the courthouse. My fight with the government right now is through legal channels, through legal, lawful means. And here we are, basically almost being accosted by them. I mean, they were acting like TSA agents. Whenever my dad is a 76-year-old man, got a steel plate in his hip, got a steel knee, and they were groping him, trying to let him come in the building. He's like, God dang, man. You know, my dad's not a threat to anybody. He's a 24-year United States Army veteran, vet of the Vietnam era and a vet of Desert Storm, combat vet. And they treat my dad like he's a common criminal. I mean, that's insulting to me to watch my father, somebody who's lived with honor his whole life, to be treated like that by my own government. And he dedicated over 20 years of his life in service to this country, in the government, in the military. They took his P-38 off of his keychain. And we were joking. I said, I guess they thought he was going to open a can of whoop ass, so they had to get his P-38. I mean, seriously, though, why would you take a P-38 from somebody? I mean, these guys are sitting around with machine guns like that P-38 is going to make any difference.
Well, hey, I'd like to just put this out there that, you know, people really need to wake up and they need to remember what things are about. You know, us as citizens have a duty when we have a government that is not upholding the laws that have been put in place by the Constitution. We have a duty to stand. It is every one of our jobs. Every one.
And by standing, people, that doesn't mean go out and wreak havoc. That means we can, just like Anthony Bosworth has proved, just like the Bundy Ranch proved, just like on the border proved Camp Lone Star, that we don't have to break the law to be taking care of business. We don't have to rely on the federal government to dictate and rule us. We showed the federal government that we're not going to take their abuses like Anthony Bosworth has done, like at the Bundy Ranch. You know, they came in there and tried to run roughshod over an old cattleman. His family had been on that property over 100 years. And they came in there and tried to roughshod one American family, the Bundys.
Took his cattle.
Yeah, killed his cattle. Drove them till they died, and then shot some of them.
Now, and you talk about Anthony up there in Washington. He was arrested, okay? He was arrested outside of the federal building for a toy gun. Not an airsoft look-alike, you know, a badass real replica. It was a toy gun that looked like a Western six-shooter revolver with a big red cap on the end of the barrel, so there was no mistaking what it was. And they arrested him for that. Said that you cannot have a toy gun on federal property. Nowhere is there a law that says that. Nowhere. And that's why he was standing up, and that's why they went back the following visit with real weapons. Stood on the same spot where he was arrested with a toy gun, and they didn't want any part of it. They knew that they had screwed up, and now they're going to get their nose rubbed in it. Down there on the border, they were told not to hamper these people coming across. They were pulled back away from the river. They're up on the levee system and that, and, you know, don't worry about it, let them in. The present administration wants them here. Well, the present administration is violating the laws. You can't do that. You can't let it stand. You can't let them do that. You can't let, and 80,000 right now haven't shown up for their court dates. oh, wow, like that was going to be a big surprise. Did they bother even putting, did they bother putting those ankle bracelets like that Casey's having to wear right now on them to make sure that they knew where they were at? So they could go get them if they didn't show up? No, they didn't. They turned them loose, and that they've already broken the law by coming across the river and coming into our country illegally. Did they have to put up a cash bond or anything like that? No. Did they have to put up any kind of bond at all? No. They just had to sign a piece of paper saying, I'll be at that court date at that time. And they haven't shown up.
No, well, here's something else, too. Those they do put these ankle monitors on these illegals. But you have to bear in mind, these ankle monitors, like the one that I wear, cost the federal government $2,000. But people like me, I've kept my bracelet. I've stayed in compliance with the court. I've done everything that the court has asked me. But these illegals come in here, they put them on them, they cut them out. They cut the damn thing off and throw it in a ditch somewhere. That's $2,000 that they just wasted. And they know that they're not. I mean, come on, these guys, they snuck in the country. You think that they give a crap about our laws? I'm American. I don't want to leave this country. They don't care. What's the worst you're going to do to them? Throw them out? Ooh, okay. So they cut these $2,000 leg monitors off and throw them in a ditch. They're costing us tons of money, and the federal government's still doing it.
You mean they're actually putting those leg monitors on them when they take them out, when they turn them out?
Yes, they have been using. Somebody, the people that owns this company that makes these leg monitors must be tight with the government because they have used thousands of them. I was talking to the pretrial release today. He said he puts them on all the time. And most of the people just cut them off. I mean, what are they? I mean, okay, I'm already here illegally. I'm not from this country, so I cut it off. You catch me, you send me home. Okay, so what? It's people like me that don't want to leave the country, that love the country, and they know I'm not going to cut it off, and I've got it on me. I'm not going anywhere, folks. This is my country. I'm going to die on American soil, period.
Wow. What if they've got anybody going around picking those monitors up where they left them?
Well, if they get to them before the battery runs out, they can find them. Yep.
Holy smokes. Somebody's making a ton of money on recycled leg monitors.
Yeah, they got a cute little sticker that they'll give you a reward if you find them and turn them in.
Oh, dang.
Guys,
well, now you know what...
Can I add this real quick? The American people really need to take a look at what happened in Egypt just a couple years ago. They had a government that didn't represent the people. The people showed in such numbers that the military had no choice but to stand with them. They removed their government that did not support their people without one shot fired. And, if they can do it, we the people of the great United States can do the same. We can avoid any violence in this country whatsoever just by the number of people saying enough, standing up in the numbers. And I pray every day for that to happen.
Yeah, because that's all it would take. All it would take is us in a large enough numbers to stand up. And just like at Bundy, just stand up. Just like up in Washington, Anthony Bosworth. He stood with 50-plus men. The Bundys had 200. I mean, those are not large numbers. Those are small numbers. And the government backed down. And we can't even put together that many to go to our state capitals, to go demand from our elected officials that they cease and desist this terroristic behavior toward American citizens? I mean, what have we allowed ourselves to become?
Does the term pussy ring a bell?
Well,
Holy crud.
Oh, man. We've all had this conversation, but
oh, boy.
I wasn't going to specifically use those terms, but yeah.
Sorry about that, man. That's it in a nutsack. I mean, a nutshell. No nuts in the sack.
It really is. You know, and what's amazing is, you know, just like Patriot Shar, she's a very advocating patriot female. We've got Bethany Clem, you know, we've got Augusta Vaughn. We've got so many stand-up females that seem to have more intestinal fortitude, more stones than the men do nowadays. I mean, to me, it's golly, man, it's kind of disheartening.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't surprise me if they weren't thinking, damn, they're giving pussy a bad name.
Yeah. I was talking to Melvin Lee of PatrioticWarriors.com, the sponsor, the guy that paid for the bus trip down here and was gracious enough to pay for the hotels where, you know, we're all staying, which is a nice bayside hotel. Got a beautiful view. I'm sitting out here looking over the bay. You know, we were talking about it the other day, man, the way it's going, we're not going to have to worry about having to fight over women. There's going to be more women than there are men when it comes to the resistance. I mean, yeah, there's more women than there is men. That's crazy. I'd never believe that, but I mean, I've seen it, you know, from being around and being involved. It seems like there's more women with stones than men.
Oh, boy.
Well, Casey, you know, with some of the things that we're facing in this country and some of the changes that they're trying to make, I think anybody has seen it. We have a separation of church and state. Our children aren't allowed to pray in our schools any longer, but they are allowing Arab children to pray to Allah in schools. Now,
how disgusting is that?
Under that thought, you realize our women have the most to lose.
Yeah. You ain't kidding there.
Absolutely. Well, and that was something else, too, that I felt really cool about. And all the guys that came down here with me and rode the bus and did the security before we left, just so happens, God works in mysterious ways, praise God. But we were getting ready to get on the bus, and just so happened, all right, let me explain to you, give you a little background. Melvin had booked the bus company for us to come down here. Well, they called Melvin at 7 o'clock on Sunday, and we're supposed to be leaving 9 o'clock Monday morning. And they called Melvin and said, look, our bus broke down and we don't have a bus. Melvin told him, he said, man, I don't care what you got to do. I don't care. But you're going to have a bus there to take these people down south. I'm not going to accept any excuse. Well, anyway, as it turns out, the guy that wound up coming owned the bus company, and he's a preacher. So we were just sitting there talking about the border. He was unfamiliar with the border situation. He didn't know who I was or really didn't know much about what's going on. And his name's Willie. And we were sitting there talking, come to find out he's a preacher. You know, and before we left, we all stood up, held hands, and had him lead us in a prayer to get us here safely and to get us home safely. But to me, that's just another sign that God is on the Patriot side. God is on our side.
Amen, brother.
He put this guy there, this Willie, the bus driver, the bus company owner. The other bus company couldn't make it. So somehow God made it where this guy was the one that came to get us. God keeps putting good people in my life. He has done so much and showed me so much favor that, you know, I thank him every day and every night. Thank you, God, for all the blessings you put on me. You know, I think about all the bad things in my life going on right now with mainly the government, and one of the things that helps keep me not happy, but going is, you know, I think about Job and the test that he had to go through. But he stood proud and he stood strong. God stayed by his side and wouldn't let the devil kill him. He let him strip him of almost everything, but he wouldn't let him kill him. And that's kind of like what I think I'm going through right now. Is it's a test for me. And God keeps letting me know every time I turn around, hey, I'm here. I haven't left you. You know, don't give up. And that's what's keeping me going.
And you know what? I'd like to put that out there. It seems like the majority of us who showed to stand to try to stop this illegal invasion are God-fearing Christian men.
All of us, not
Amen.
most of us, all of us. Every one of us that has truly stood with honor, and truly every one of us that came down here, you know, with us, are all God-fearing people. Every one of us. There's not an atheist in the crowd. There's not a Muslim in the crowd. There's not anything but a God-fearing Christian that came down. And that's what, you know, the people on the border, when we were all on the border, the good God-fearing people, look, they're still there. They're still doing what they came to do. God has spoke to us. It's the people that didn't have God in their heart and life, like Archie Seals, who comes down there and takes advantage of the situation, steals money, tries to steal property, and then tries to gain fame. And then when things don't go his way, guess what? He bails, and now nobody can get a hold of him. You know, those type of people are the problem. They're not part of the solution. They're part of the problem.
And God's dealing with them, too.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
Absolutely.
God's going to deal with everybody soon. I have a strong feeling that I pray every day that God comes back and rectifies this screwed up world. You know, out of all the beauty that he created, all the perfectness that he created, we men have allowed ourselves to destroy it. And it's sad. That's mainly what people need in their life, is get some God in your life, people. You know, recognize and realize who the Creator was, and he's the one that made us and made this world what it is. And we should show thanks and graciousness to, you know, for God.
Couldn't agree more with you, Casey. Couldn't agree more. And you know, the whole I seen more than just Archie. You know, when I seen people trying to take advantage of the situation, you know, it truly made me sick, because me sitting in Indiana last spring, I heard the call from Texas. I heard the call for help, and I knew a feeling from inside me was not allowing me to do anything but come here. I spent thousands of dollars of my own money, and when I watch people...
It's irksome, absolutely irksome. Casey's down there on the border. I find out, oh, wow, I already knew him. And that I have my left knee replaced, and that 31 days later, I'm down there with y'all. And scared shitless, but staying.
That's
and
amazing.
I find out that everybody else down there had similar situations. It might not have been their health, it might have been financial or what, but there were all kinds of roadblocks thrown up. But they didn't listen to that. They had the calling in their heart. They had the drive. They couldn't deny it, and they came. And, you know, I met some really, really great guys down there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, see, I was lucky, and that's how I met all of you guys, was on the border, because we were all in different places, and I was lucky enough to meet so many good brothers. You know, I started out with the camp in Von Ormy, the Operation Secure Our Border. I wound up going to Fort Hancock out in West Texas, out by El Paso, and then we, man, you talking about some corruption. Boy, the Border Patrol is really off the chain in West Texas. Oh, man. I went like Frogman. He and I worked together and went all over Laredo, Eagle Pass. What's that other city? Laredo, Eagle Pass. He went to out there to Port Hancock with me. Oh, gosh, I can't remember the other name offhand. But, you know, I met you guys, and we all worked at different places all over the border, McAllen, you know, Brownsville. I mean, we had so many people trying, but we just never could get enough people to really make a strong showing where the government had to respect us. And we were always such small groups in all these different areas that the government just kept dumping us off. And then finally, when I wouldn't shut up, and I kept making a big public spectacle of it because I wanted America to see what the hell's going on. They're lying to us. You know, they're telling us the border's secure. Yeah, right. We're still chasing 20 and 30 a day off of, 4 miles, 3 miles of border property. They're telling us that they've got it under control when that's the farthest from the truth, you know. Oh, it's families. Yeah, right. We were dealing with all males, you know, from 16 to 60. And they weren't coming across to get a job. You know, they were coming across to further their illegal trafficking. Gang affiliates, you know, gang associations. I mean, these guys are criminals. And then the government wants to try to paint me as a criminal. But here's a real cool thing. My lawyer, Louis Cerullo, thank God for him. That's another good thing God did for me. He put that man in my life. Louis was looking the other day, and there was a guy in Pennsylvania that sued Eric Holder in the DOJ for a right to have a gun because he had been arrested of a crime and the punishment exceeded 1 year, even though it was still technically a misdemeanor. And they like to say that, oh, it's felon in possession. No, the law says anybody who's been convicted of a crime with a penalty that exceeds 1 year. So that includes misdemeanors, felonies, anything. Anyway, this guy sued the Department of Justice and Eric Holder because he felt that he should have his Second Amendment right to defend himself for home protection. But according to federal law, like what they're coming after me with, the federal government says that, no, once you've been convicted of a crime that has a penalty that exceeds 1 year, you no longer have a right to defend yourself. Well, he just won. I believe it was back in like December or January. He won in a federal district court. And the court said and held that as long as you are not engaged in criminal activity, that you do have the absolute right to have a gun for self-protection. The laws that they wrote, when they originally wrote them, were going after mobsters and gangsters who were using guns in commerce, in interstate commerce, as a way of intimidation, threats, murder, killing. They were criminals using guns. But a law-abiding citizen, if they're not breaking the law, should have a right to have their gun. And in the federal lawsuit where he won, they held that basically after 3 years, because the recidivism rate for most criminals is within 3 years, you're back in trouble again. And he, like I, had far exceeded that. And yet we're still being penalized and told we can't even have our own protection, even though my state law says that I can. The state gives me my right back to protect myself and to have a gun at the place that I live, which I lived in Brownsville. I lived on the border. I lived at the hotel. I lived out on the border on properties that we were granted permission to be on. Live is where you are. Well, here in Texas, that's understood right, and it's accepted law. But the government doesn't want to look at it that way, and it's just because they want to have another way to strip anybody that they can of their right to self-protection. But this federal judge upheld that, and so it is a setting case right now. The government did appeal it. It is in the Third Circuit Appeals Court. But I mean, that goes to show, just like in my case, I wasn't engaged in criminal activity. I was using a weapon, or had a weapon, in self-defense. We were facing the cartel, who are very violent, murderous people. I mean, they'll cut your head off and don't care nothing about it. They'll disembowel you. They will cut your body into chunks and throw you to the river. I mean, those guys are heinous. We all know that. We all dealt with them. And if anybody doubts what I'm saying, go to YouTube and look up what these cartels will do to you. So you'd be a fool to try to face them unarmed. And I mean, I would if I had to, I guess, because I love my country that much. I'd take that chance, but there was no excuse why I should have had to. My state said that I did have that right, and I was at the place that I live, and I was defending the place that I live.
From people that were doing criminal trespass at the time. I mean,
well, not only criminal trespass, but criminal drug trafficking, criminal human trafficking. You know what I mean? Those are felonies. Now, the first-time swimmer, it's a misdemeanor. But if you've been kicked out of this country, the second time is a felony. And if you're a coyote or a mule, that's a felony. So whether you're smuggling humans or you're smuggling drugs, that is a felony. That is a major crime. And we were preventing and deterring crime. We weren't out doing crime. We weren't out being criminals. We were doing just the opposite. We were protecting and supporting law enforcement. And when we went down there, we even met with the Border Patrol to try to get on the same page so that they knew where we were coming from. They knew that we were on their side. They deputized me. And see, that's the thing they don't understand, because I haven't turned it loose yet, but I'm going to. I'm going to turn loose videos and audio of Border Patrol agents talking about what a wonderful, lawful, legal job we were doing, how we were so respectful toward law enforcement, respectful toward the illegal immigrants, that we weren't doing anything wrong. And they would come to our camp, and that is in an essence deputizing me and us to go out and repel these foreign invaders. So, you know, the government right now, they're painting their picture. The government is trying to paint me to be a criminal and this heinous person. But I've got video and audio that disputes that shows clearly that federal agents were working with us and with me.
I back you up on that, JC. You know, we even had some of the higher-up BP guys that would show up at our camp. It was supposed to be nobody know, and marked out maps for us where the heavy activity is. They named the places along the river that we were guarding over, so that we called it the same name that they did, so that they could respond if we got in trouble quicker. They were very much with us.
Yep.
And that's the one thing that this either ATF or whoever it is that's driving this hard right now on KC, they don't understand, and that, or they don't want it to come out. They don't want that truth to come out. I think once Judge Hannon finds that out, and finds out how bad they have lied to him again, and what they have done and plagiarized themselves, and the false reports and everything else about KC. And I'm hoping this guy stands up and does the right thing. I'm praying to God he does. And it looks like from everything that we're seeing right now, that's the kind of stand-up man he is.
Yeah, I agree.
I
have hope. I have hope with it going in front of Hannon.
Absolutely.
Sorry, KC, cutting you off, brother, but, you know, I worry about you.
Yeah.
With it going in front of Judge Hannon, I think you got a chance, brother. I really do. I think you got a chance.
I do too, and that's another thing that God did, is he put me in front of a judge, especially after the judge had been lied to and figured out that he'd been lied to. You know, God's got me going in front of a man he already knows what the federal government's doing and what they're capable of doing. And the DOJ being untruthful like they are and fabricating information. Just like with me, here it is. Let's see, the shooting happened in August, so we got September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, or March. So that's 7 months since the shooting. And yet in the government's answer to my lawyer's motion, they said that the Border Patrol shot at John 4 or 5 times. Really? In 7 months? 7 months? You guys haven't figured out how many times y'all shot at us? I mean, what does that say about their investigative skills? What does that say about the cooperation and the communication between the U.S. Attorney and the Border Patrol? I mean, what is that really telling us?
Somebody can't count to 12. They can't figure out how many bullets go in his Glock.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and tell them about what a Border Patrol agent, when he can and when he cannot pull his firearm, much less shoot it. I don't think people understand that. They're operating under a strict guideline with their firearms in that, and they violated that, their SOP, up one side and down another, and then can't account for how many rounds were let loose.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's been 7 months, and they still don't know how many times that they shot at us. They still got us all screwed up and about the truth of what happened. And it amazes me.
That's one thing about the federal government is when I was in the Navy and I was in security for the 2 years that I was in, every time we uploaded and every time we downloaded, we had to count every single round that we had in each magazine. So there's no way in hell that they do not know exactly how many rounds that were fired off, because they keep track of every single round that's put into those magazines and taken out of those magazines. So if there was 4 rounds lost or 5 rounds lost, they would know the moment that he downloads his weapon back into dispatch or into their armor. So that's one thing. They're not speaking amongst each other to see what's really going on.
I don't think they want the truth. I think they like making their own narratives and their own stories because it sounds better that way.
Oh, of course. What they're trying to do is they're trying to shut you up, Casey. That's the bottom line. They don't want you speaking out to the people so that they know the truth of what's going on behind the scenes.
Well, it's like they were telling us, the border's secure, okay.
That's bullshit.
When are you going to stop, lying?
Well, and that's part of that was part of all of our motivation in doing what we did, because we knew the government was lying. That was like I've said 100 times, the 3 points that we proved without a doubt. First, the government said that there wasn't an illegal immigrant problem. Obama said that the border was as secure as it had ever been. Well, we proved that he was lying. Number 2, they said that we, the citizens, didn't have the power of arrest. We couldn't arrest nobody because we're citizens. But what did? We proved to them that we could, because we have, it's called a citizen's arrest, the power of arrest. When you witness somebody committing a crime, I feel like it's your obligation and duty to subdue them and hold them so you can turn them over to the police or the authorities, which we did do. We videoed it. We proved that we had that authority. Number 3, they said that we didn't have the training necessary to be able to repel these foreign invaders. But guess what? We didn't need their training, their indoctrination. We proved that our common sense was above their training because we were more effective in the time that we work the border than what they do.
Oh yeah,
the whole time I was there,
they were pissed off because we did a better job than they did.
Absolutely. Well, the whole time that we were on the border, I never saw them repel one person. All they did was take them into custody and give them freebies.
Yep. They brought them into our country, and now we're paying for their asses.
Yeah, they furthered illegal immigration.
Yes, they did. You know,
and that alone should make every single damn patriot pissed off in itself, because you're having to pay for these people that are here now. That money is coming out of those taxes that you're paying every damn paycheck that you receive. Every paycheck you receive is having to go to them. And, I mean, how do you people feel about that? I mean, seriously. I need to support my own damn family, more or less somebody I don't even know, and somebody that doesn't even belong here. Come on, people. Wake up. Stand the fuck up, people. Grow some balls. Seriously. Get out of y'all's damn shells. I'm sorry, but the comfort zone ends eventually.
Well, I'm out of my comfort zone, I guarantee you. And I'm not going back into it until this is done.
I'm right there with you.
It's just impossible for me to let this go unanswered. I cannot look my son in the face and say, "Here you go. Yeah, it's worse for wear, and I didn't do you justice, son, but you'll make it." Bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, they don't. The illegals coming across the border and coming into our country to do what they're doing, they don't deserve the luxury of our custody. Nope. They need to be put in a cattle car and sent back down to South America where they came from. And yeah, it was mostly, other than Mexican, that was coming across. They were Hondurans and God only knows what else besides the Muslims and everybody else trying to sneak through.
And not only that.
They don't deserve the luxury of our custody. They're not good enough for the luxury.
And not just that, the majority of your crime in every major city in the United States is caused by the southern cartels that are in Mexico. Because if it wasn't for them pushing their drugs, we wouldn't have this damn crime.
Oh, I say, well, America's got a big drug problem. Well, stop feeding it. If it ain't there, they can't do it. Shut the border down. We know how to shut the border down. The government says, it takes too much to shut the border down. Bullshit.
I'd like to bring up a point. But when I was in Brownsville, I met and talked with a lot of Hispanic people who have come to our country legally, and it's taking them years to get citizenship. And they are the most angry out of what is going on with these illegals being allowed to just cross in the amnesty.
Absolutely.
They feel duped. They have had to work hard to get what they have gotten. And now it is like a slap in the face to them with what this administration is doing with this amnesty.
I agree 100%. You know why? I'm Hispanic myself. The Frogman, I am Hispanic. And I am 150 fucking % against the shit that is going on right now, which is why I'm doing what I'm doing. We're sick of this shit.
Brother.
We're sick of this shit. Come on, people, stand the fuck up.
Well, it's just like a friend of mine, a good brother of mine back home, his wife is German, and they came by and visited me the other day. And she told me, she came from Germany. And she told me about the reams of paper that she had to study. She had to pass a test. She had to learn English. She had to learn American history. She had to do all this stuff to become a legal citizen. And she cared enough about our country to go through it and do it and become an American. And yet we've got all these people here that want to cuss America, that don't want to learn our language, that don't want to speak our language. So then get out of here.
Yeah,
you belong on our flag. Holy smokes! People can't even fly a friggin' American flag on their balcony because it might upset a Muslim or it might upset somebody else that's here. And I'm terrified of the American flag. Well, get the hell out of America then.
Yeah, if you're afraid of it, then what the fuck are you doing here for?
Yeah, if you're afraid of it, you're here to do something that's not right. You're here to do something that's illegal. You're afraid because you know you're doing something wrong. Get the hell out.
Yep.
Well, they're here to take advantage of our kindness. They're here to take advantage of our generosity. They're here to take advantage of a lawless system that the government is pushing out there so that, our government, we all know, this is no hidden secret. Our government is some of the biggest drug dealers and gun dealers, illegal guns and illegal drugs in this world. They're the biggest dope dealers, the CIA. How many times has the CIA been reported to be narco-traffickers? Why are we having our own soldiers
and
in Afghanistan and the DEA? Why are we having our own soldiers guarding poppy fields, marijuana fields? I mean, why is all this happening if they're not involved?
Because
they
they're
should have
making
been
money
burning
off of
those crops. Oh, absolutely.
They are allowing this because they're making a profit off of it. That's the only reason why this is happening, is because people have gotten greedy and they want to make money off of anything they possibly can to make them richer than they already are. As if you're not rich enough.
And they want to sacrifice our country and our children to do it. They don't care. There was a van of children's corpses found over there in Matamoros, I think it was, and they had been stripped of their organs, and the carcasses were just left, and that's the kind of people that we were dealing with down there. That's the kind of mentality that our government, and I'm talking about these commie liberal SOBs that are that got sway right now. Those are the kind of people that they want to deal with, that they are dealing with. They want to take Hezbollah, and they want to take Hezbollah and the Muslim Brotherhood off the terror list. They just did. Obama did. How did he do that without Congress?
I wonder how they would feel if I illegally crossed into Mexico and started killing every single motherfucking cartel member I saw. I wonder how they would feel about that.
Well, look at what they did to Tamarisi. He just accidentally went across the border with a gun. And look, he spent 4 months in a Mexican prison.
Well, I ain't getting caught.
I mean, we all know what.
I'll tell you that right fucking now.
But we all know what they're going to do to us. Well, you know what they do to us. Well, and then our own government will turn you over to them.
Oh, yeah.
They allow them to come here and victimize us, but Lord help it if you went over there and did something like that over there.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I went over there and decided to do something like that over there, you wouldn't take me alive. I'm going to take out as many of you motherfuckers as I possibly can. Fuck you. You do not belong in our country. We do not want you in our country.
Hey, y'all hold on. We got a couple of callers that have called in, and I'm going to bring them on. They got their hands up. They want to talk. Let's see. I know one of them's Lisa. Lisa, I'm going to bring you on in just a second. And this other number, I'm not sure who it is. It's 3032 is the last four, 3032. I'm bringing you on. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Casey? It's Ken.
Hey, Ken, what's going on, brother?
Nothing, man.
What's up, buddy?
I had a long day at work, and first thing I did was turn on the Facebook and see what was going on with you.
Oh, yeah, we had a fun day today. All the fans showed up, man.
Yeah, I read about that greeting, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was pretty intimidating. I mean, for, I guess, the average guy. It didn't faze us, but, I mean, it was kind of
I mean,
tell us how you really feel, Frog Man.
They're nothing but a bunch of fucking cowards. Goddamn, 18-1, really? The only motherfucker with a goddamn pistol. A pistol. And they had fucking M4s. And they had to pull that shit on me with a goddamn counter sniper. Who knows what the fuck he had? He probably had a 308 up on my ass.
Shit.
Fuck those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean that's, look, they swear an oath to the Constitution, and here's KC standing up for his country and the Constitution. Why do they have all this power against KC? It doesn't make any sense, man.
Well, I
they want
think what
KC
they're trying
quiet.
to do
They want everybody to be in the dark.
Well, and I think that's a big part of what it is they're trying to, if they want everybody to see what they're going to do to them if they try to stand up like I have. You want to go through what KC's going through? Check it out, assholes. Here's what we got for you. We got, every time you turn around, we're going to have feds everywhere with machine guns standing around you, your family, trying to intimidate your wife, your father, your brother, your brothers. And we're going to put them through hell just to come support you. We're going to take their can opener off their keychain. We're going to take and fill them up. We're going to surround you with armed people with mean mugs on. I mean, we're going to run you through the ringer. We're going to destroy your life if you stand up against us, the federal government. And that's what they're doing. And they're trying to set the example so that everybody else understands what they'll do to you if you do like KC. If you stand up against them and you voice yourself and you voice opposition to the corruption, they want you to understand that they're going to do you just like they've done me.
I'm kind of glad that you didn't have me go into that fucking courtroom, KC, because I think I would have been in handcuffs myself.
Yeah, well, I don't want no trouble. I'm trying to get out of it, not trying to get deeper in it.
Well,
I mean,
that's
look,
for you.
They swear an oath to a document that mentions "we the people." It's a radically different system that our founders put together here. It puts the people in power. I mean, it's obvious. It's like right there. I don't know how they can stand against something that they supposedly stand for.
Easy answer to that. People, we the people, allowed it to happen. Easy answer.
Yep, and we allow it to continue to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was asleep once. I mean, I became Catholic, and then I got into politics. I started reading about politics, and then I started reading about communism. And then when I heard about Obama, I was immediately against him. I mean, in 2008. And, I mean, I wouldn't do anything. I would stay home, I would be keyboard commando on the computer. But then I felt like this can't keep going on. I mean, just staying here is not going to help anything. That's when I decided, I have to go to Brownsville. I have to. And it felt very good, helping out my country and supporting y'all over there. I mean, you guys are what we need in this country, the heroes.
Hey, just so everybody, let me give him a brief introduction. He's also, not only has he been a patriot and been on the border with us, he's also the guy that made the intro to my show. So Ken has been he's been there for quite a while, and he does all that he can still to try to help me and to help the country. And I really appreciate you, Ken, big time. One thing that I think we should be able to. Oh, no, thank you. One thing that I think we could do, just imagine if we showed up 100 people to one of these hearings, one of my hearings. Do you know how bad that would freak them out? They're kind of, I think, halfway taking us as a joke because we can't show up with that many people. And I'm not saying go there to start trouble. I'm not saying there to go to disrespect anybody. But if we just showed up peacefully, 100 of us, do you understand what impact that would have on the government? You don't think that would make national or international news? 100 people out of 300 million. That's all we need to do is put some people together to come stand. You know, and there's some people that don't like me personally. They say I'm an asshole, which I'll wear that bandit. You know, I'm an asshole. I mean, but I love my country, and I don't disrespect anybody that doesn't show me disrespect first. Whether you like me personally or not, I still stand for your rights, and I still would defend you with my life. We all need to let our personal differences, even the people that don't personally like me, they personally think, well, you were a felon. You committed a crime when you were 21 years old and you're 49 now, but you're still a felon. Okay, I'll take that. But you know what? I'm standing for your rights and my rights. So why don't we stand together and stand for freedom and liberty and stop trying to let them keep further dividing us by you calling me a felon? Because just like I was a child once, I'm no longer a child. I'm a grown man. Well, I was a felon once, but I'm no longer a felon. I don't act feloniously, and I don't act criminally.
Can I add something to that? That was 27 years ago. 27 years ago. That's how fucking old I am. I'm 27 years old.
I mean,
that happened
that's a long time ago.
That happened an entire fucking lifetime ago. And you're telling me that you people cannot accept the fact that a man can change in 27 years? Come on, people, wake the fuck up.
Not just change, but change for the better.
Yeah,
exactly.
They seem to believe in hope and change, but I guess not we the people changing, huh?
Yeah. Come on.
I'd like to add something to that. You know, when people start picking and choosing what rights they're going to stand for, we've already lost, because what happens when it is the different rights that is being stepped on that it affects them? It doesn't matter what rights that are being stepped on. We as patriots must be willing to step and back each other up on the rights that are being taken from us. And it doesn't matter what rights or who it is that the rights were being stepped on. We must stand together and protect each other.
You know,
hey, KC, I've got an idea. Have you stopped by and seen Miss Taylor yet?
No, I can't go down there still.
Oh, that's right. You can't go down there. Damn, forgot about that. Well, if somebody could go by and let her know that you go to court on the 30th, I'm sure that she would like to be there.
Yeah, I don't know how I can get word down there, but
we can handle that, JC. We can handle that.
I'd love to see Rusty. I'd like to see Miss Taylor. I'd like to see, Fernando. I mean, I'd like to see a lot of the people that, were there with us, and that they know we weren't criminals. They know that we were acting in defense of them and their property, their children, their families. All of us took away from our own families, our own personal comforts, to come down here and live primitively on the border. Some of you guys, most of you guys on the phone right now, have been to my house personally.
What's up, pretty
you
lady?
Saw the life that I had, the life that I walked away to go live on the border.
Mardi Gras party.
And
yeah, let it come from my words. Casey has a beautiful home. He has many, many nice things. He has wonderful children. I could personally see why a man like him, with the things that he had in life, would say, you know what? I'm not going to go waste my life. I'm not going to go waste the good things in life that I have. But he didn't. He stood.
Yeah. And back on the topic of, what is it going to take for patriots to stand up? I'll tell you what it's going to take. It's going to take FEMA and DHS to go knocking on your door and saying, sir, you need to come with me. Bring your family. Bring your goods. Let's go right now. That's what it's going to take. And guess what? It's too fucking late.
Yeah, that's when it's way too late.
You're fucked.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then what does your voice matter? It matters not a goddamn thing, because if you speak up, guess what? Bullet in your fucking head. Come on, people, wake the fuck up. And this ain't coming from a dumbass. This is coming from somebody that was in the military and knows that the military and the federal government is fucked up. Come on, people, wake the fuck up.
Yeah, and just to get anybody so that they, know about Frogman. Frogman was in the military. He is a combat vet from Iraq, Afghanistan. He was an MP in the military. He left the military with the equivalent rank of sergeant. So he wasn't or isn't some slack job. This man put his time in, and while I always tease him and call him a seaman, he'll quickly remind me that he wasn't a seaman.
You look here, you son of a bitch. I will fuck you up, Casey. You're only a fucking floor away from me, goddammit. I know where you're staying at.
I just want to qualify you in case anybody thought that maybe you were just slack-jaw. No, you're not a slack-jaw. You are a solid patriot, and you have served and defended this country in the military, and you were in security, MP. You did security details. You were ship security. He was a ship fireman. Anybody that has any understanding about being on one of them huge ships out in the middle of the water,
it is a floating
that
city.
Catches on fire. Yeah, but you know how dangerous and how much balls it takes to be a fireman on a ship where you're surrounded by molten metal when that thing lights up.
Well, you ain't got nowhere to go. Nowhere to go but overboard. And guess what? You ain't surviving once you go overboard.
No, you know when
you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So basically, that's where I stand.
No, when Obama was saying that the border's secure and everyone was saying the border's secure, I mean, I was like, bullshit. I called bullshit immediately because I work for a certain company that delivers to a certain area right across from the borders in Hidalgo and Las Milpas and those areas in McAllen and Far. And you can literally see people just running barefoot fresh out of the river.
Yeah, damn fucking wet facts right there.
I was delivering out of Stripes one day, and I hear like what sounded like wet feet. I was like, what the hell? I turned around and there's these illegals running around the truck and jumping into a car in the gas station.
No, man, you heard the shirt flapping on their back. The wet shirt flapping on their back.
I was like, secure border my ass.
Yeah, Ken just so happens to live down here in the RGV. He is a local, so he's very aware and knows what's happening down here. And it's still going on now. The border is still not secure. They are still infiltrating our country daily by the piles, by the scores. Even though the media's quit talking about it, folks, this is not over. Our border is still being overrun.
It's still happening. Hell, on the way down here.
Yeah, they're still coming. They're still coming.
Yeah, they're coming, and they don't have the resistance that they once had because the Patriots are half concerned about stopping it like we have been because of the BS, just like Casey getting wrapped up in. So now they are pretty much freely walking across.
On the way down here, I noticed that the first time I came down here to start working the border, I noticed there was Border Patrol everywhere. Literally, there was a Border Patrol vehicle every mile to mile and a half. And now, the only vehicles that you see are at the checkpoints themselves. You rarely see any Border Patrol vehicles beyond those checkpoints. So that just goes to show you that they have just given up on securing our border. They're just letting whoever wants to come over, come over. And it's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's because they were given an order, a direct order, to let them go. And those people,
that's coming
those
all the way
criminals,
from Washington.
Those criminals are coming into our country. MS-13, cartel, you name it, they're coming here. ISIS, they're coming through our southern borders. And guess what? There's no resistance to them.
I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, you don't think the terrorists are going to take advantage of that? I mean, the American people are not stupid. We're not stupid.
But the media quit reporting it, so now most of the complacent Americans think that the crisis is over. They don't understand that it is ongoing. It has not stopped.
Oh no. They stopped covering it because now it's basketball season. Motherfuckers.
For basketball of all things. Okay, football I can kind of halfway understand, but
let's
basketball.
Throw a goddamn ball in the fucking hoop. Yeah, how hard is that?
You know, anybody with sensitive ears out here, for any of y'all with sensitive ears listening, I'm sorry, but you know we do have the right of freedom of speech, and you know what's going on in our country offends me a lot more than any language that anybody's used here on the show tonight. I hate it if you're offended by it, but you know you should be more offended that our country's being invaded, that our government is smashing on our rights, that our government is coming after patriots. So, you know, before anybody gets critical and wants to comment, well, man, they sure talk foul. Yeah, we're angry. And sometimes some of us articulate that anger with harsh words, but they have every right to say and speak how they want to. And, you know, if you want to get upset about language being used tonight, please redirect that anger toward the government that's allowing you to be invaded, toward the government that's taking your tax money and giving it away to illegal alien criminals who have invaded our borders. So anybody that is listening tonight that may feel offended, that may listen to the replay, don't get offended over the language until you get offended over our country and how we're being treated and what lies they're telling us. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys.
Let me add on that, too. I apologize. This is Frogman. I apologize for the fact that I use foul language, but guess what? I'm a sailor. I cuss like a sailor. I'm sorry. I offended you, but get over it. That's life. I'm an adult. I use the language that I prefer to use, and it's what I was brought up on. I'm sorry. That's my words.
And, you know, let me touch on, you know, it was just said about basketball season's over, so now they're covering it a little bit. You know, myself, along other Patriots, many other Patriots I know, we were down here on our own dime. We continue on our own dime to try to help fix this country.
Hey, guys. Hey, hold tight for a second. I just got my attorney, a lawyer. I hate to call attorney because I hate that word. He's my lawyer. His name is Louis Cerolo. Outstanding American patriot, former military field artillery officer, patriot, good American. And I'm very proud to have him as my lawyer. I've got him on the line. Louis, would you just say hi to everybody so that they can...
Mm-hmm. Hope y'all are doing well and everything's going well, and we're in a struggle here to see what we can do to get KC out of this legal mess we're in, and we're burning the midnight oil trying to figure out what we're going to do.
We appreciate that, sir.
Yes, sir. We appreciate everything you're doing for our brother.
Well, we're trying. We're not going to stop until it's over.
We appreciate that. We just want our brother to be free again.
And we're working on it. We're getting all the legal issues in place.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I can't tell you how much I really appreciate you and all the work that you've done. I was maybe you could elaborate a little bit more, Louis. I was telling the guys about the case you found in, I believe it was Pennsylvania, where that guy sued Eric Holder for the right to have a firearm. Could you go ahead and talk a little bit about that?
What it was is there was a complaint because the guy had been a convicted felon, and therefore under the federal statutes they said, well, you know, you can't have a firearm after that. Well, he went in there and he contested the length of time that one of the felonies had been already adjudicated and taken care of, and then he had a misdemeanor there that they had considered a felony, and he got it knocked down to misdemeanor. They had a hearing in court, and the judge came back and said that 922G is just too strict, and they need to lighten it up. Consider how long this felony conviction had been. And the judge actually ruled that no, his liberties as far as carrying a weapon should be restored. That was not favorable to the government, so Eric Holder appealed that. I have his appeal brief, and we're waiting on an appeal brief from the plaintiff, and then that decision will be in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals in Pennsylvania, and we probably ought to get something this summer on that, which looks like it could be favorable to us.
Well, and that's good. It's good for other patriots, too, though, because, some of us have made mistakes early in life, and then we've lived past those mistakes, like myself. I've never denied or tried to hide the fact that, I was a criminal. I was not somebody that society would look proudly upon. But it taught me a valuable lesson going through what I did from my crime, and it changed me as a man. And I've lived the last 27 years of my life honorably, and I am not the criminal that I once was. We all grow and mature. Like we were once a child, now we're grown. Well, I was once a criminal, but I'm no longer a criminal, and I've shown that by my actions, not my words. And so, this is very important because there's a lot of patriots that are barred from firearms because of the same law. And you got a lot of people that are scared to be able to stand up because they're scared to have to go through what I went or what I'm going through.
Yeah. No, you're not the only one.
This will set a precedent for us.
Well, that's what we're trying to do, but it's there's no guarantees. And Casey's going to be basically the guinea pig, the test case.
I hate that. What did you think today, Lewis, about all the security they had around the court?
Well, they had all the security because they knew y'all were coming. There'd been some posts on Facebook, support Kevin Massey. We're going to have a bus. We need all the supporters. And, they knew it was coming, so they had security there just to make sure that, nothing happens. Security will tighten down as we get farther in.
But it went calmly and peacefully.
Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go.
Absolutely.
That's the way it's supposed to go. But I'll tell you, the co-defendant now, he's going to take a plea of guilty this week. So he'll be out of the case. And it's just going to be us fighting our case. We'll have our motion to dismiss and suppress heard on Monday. And then depending on how that washes out, that'll tell us what date in May we're going to go to trial. And it's a matter of just gearing it up.
So have they said what they're going to do for him?
No, he's going to plead guilty, and his felonies are more recent, and one of them is a drug felony, so he's going to get a couple points for that. He's probably going to do about 5 or 6 years.
Damn. And he's not willing to fight it at all. He's just going to go ahead and cop out to it, huh?
No, he's not all there. He's competent to stand trial, but he's not going to fight it.
How recent was his drug felony?
Only like 2 or 3 years ago.
Wow.
See, that was information that we were unaware of, back then.
Totally.
We were led to believe that it had been like 10 years since he had been in trouble.
No, it was more recent than that.
So he wasn't even covered under Texas law. Because he hadn't reached the 5-year threshold under Texas law.
Well, and he had the weapon too soon. And there's even a specific section that in the federal sentencing guidelines.
Slingshot and an arrow.
Go ahead, Lewis. I'm sorry.
There was a section in the sentencing guidelines that are going to give him a couple points up enhancement because of the fact that he had that drug conviction and then had a gun.
Well, he's really looking to have to do some time with stupid stuff.
But he's not all there. You can tell in court today he's just, he's not firing with all pistons.
that guy's gone.
Do you think they have him under some kind of psychotic?
No, I think he did a lot of drugs, and he's coming off of those, and they have him on some antidepressant medication. And I mean, he's competent. He can plea, and he knows what he's doing, but he's just not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Any of us that were around him, during the time on the border, we knew that then. But one thing that we respected about him, till he got back on drugs, and that's why we had to ask him to leave the camp, was, he had heart, and he cared about America, and he was, tried to be politically involved. Unfortunately, after he got shot at, I mean, it threw him back off the deep end. That's what ruined him.
Well, look, Kevin, I'm going to go Friday afternoon and meet with the U.S. Attorney and go through everything. I'll call you Friday night, maybe Saturday before you come down. We can talk a little bit, and then you get here Sunday. And I'll have Monday morning, too, so we can just kind of finish up. And let's go in the hearing and give it our best legal argument for suppression and see how it goes.
Okay. The pretrial told me it was at 1:30. Is that
yeah, it's 1:30.
Right?
The hearing is at 1:30 on Monday.
Okay.
So really, if you wanted to leave early in the morning and just go straight to court, you could probably do it, but it's kind of pushing it. You're 12 hours away. You probably want to leave the day before.
Yeah, I do. That way I can be rested and I'm not tired and I'm not yawning. And
then you could give us the morning time just to prepare to go over whatever we have for court, which I'm pretty much ready for it. Just a matter of going over it and getting it in order and who was who and when, and then see what the judge does. See what you think about the judge.
Well, I know this. So far, I can't think or say anything bad about him. I mean, he's had the intestinal fortitude to stand up against the POTUS, the President of the United States, and, tell them that, hey, I'm not going to tolerate your lying to me. And, he's standing beside his ruling. And, I can't help but have respect for him for that. I mean, it seems like a very honorable man.
Well, we'll give him a good legal argument and see what happens.
I think that's what I think he would. I think I couldn't get a better judge, honestly. Do you think there was any real meaning today when the judge told me that I was on thin ice? I mean, I haven't done anything wrong.
He tells that to everybody, and he actually goes a little more. You're on thin ice, and I want you to keep in contact with your attorney, and your attorney better, when he calls you, get an answer. And he goes and rags them a lot more than that. That was nothing.
It was kind of like, that guy, man, I thought I've been being good. I've been fully compliant. I've done everything
he says that to everybody. No, don't feel special. He gives a speech to everybody.
You hear that?
Well,
don't feel special now.
With all that extra attention that we had outside the courthouse, and they even saw a sniper on the roof,
Yeah.
And as soon as I left the courthouse, we got in the vehicle and my convoy took off. The mayor of my city that was there, he said as soon as we left, all those DHS agents piled in their vehicles and took off. So we know they were specifically there for me.
Yeah, no, and they were there in the afternoon, too. They had a helicopter and all those people came back.
Because of John?
Yeah, I guess.
Wow.
But anyway.
Okay.
You and I will talk tomorrow. I'll get on the phone while you're on the bus. I got a few things I want to go over with you, and but y'all just be good. And I mean, hey, you made your showing. They know that you got some support, and take it from there.
Well, I appreciate you, Lewis, a lot, man. I really do. Words, whenever this is all done, hopefully I'll be able to do something for you. We'll have to create something to wire up for you. I got to do something for you to show you my appreciation.
Let's get there first. But anyway, guys, I've had a long day. I'm going to crash out, and like I said, Casey, we look okay, especially with Forrester getting out of the picture, it's going to be all our trials, so we'll control it.
Okay, man.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Y'all
Yes,
be
sir.
careful going back home.
All right, sir. Thank
Okay.
you for coming on and talking and letting everybody hear. I appreciate it.
And I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Night.
God bless you. God bless you.
Well,
Wow.
we heard it right from my lawyer, and like I said, he's an awesome man. Couldn't ask for a better person, to represent me. I'm very proud of him. Like I said, he is a patriot, former service. He's put his time in. He was a field artillery officer, so he's an outstanding man personally. Big fisherman too. He loves fishing. I went to his office, and he had gone out, and they hit this brand new fishing hole, and he caught some monster yellowfin tuna, and his wife made awesome tuna casserole. Oh man, the taste of fresh tuna as opposed to commercially fished tuna. Oh, it was so good. And his wife was such an awesome cook. Yeah, she made a heck of a meal for us that day. Like I said, I'm very proud to have him, and I'm glad he's in my corner. I don't think I could ask for anything better.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in good hands, Casey.
Yeah, God's been good, man. He's looking out for me. He's done a lot of things to help, show me that, hey, he's in my corner. He hadn't abandoned me. This is Satan's world. It is an evil world, and there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But
yeah.
But he sure is putting the good folks in your path, man. That is amazing.
Absolutely.
Oh, like they
don't
like
believe
they
in
say,
miracles, just look at this.
Yeah. Like they say, a good man is never alone.
Yep, that's true.
God always stands with the good ones.
Well, we got my next court date, everybody, is going to be Monday coming up, which is March 30th. If you can talk to any of your friends, anybody listening, and you can find it in your heart or find it in your schedule to try to come down and help show support, I would really appreciate it. We need to let them know that we are here. We are watching. We are keeping attention on what they're trying to do to we the people. And we don't need to start any trouble.
I'm sorry, man.
Yep.
I was just going to say, if anybody can get by Miss Taylor's, I know that she would really like to know how you're doing. Every time I went by there after you were gone, she asked about you and was very concerned.
Well, she was a very sweet lady, and she was another immigrant. She came from England, and she got her citizenship through going through all the paperwork and all the hard stuff that was involved. There's no excuse for these people that can't go through the effort to become a citizen here, because this is the greatest country in the world. We do have the most opportunity available to anybody who wants to have and do something. And, if you don't want to go through that work and you don't want to put forth that effort, in my opinion, you don't deserve to be here. It's just that simple.
Exactly. I think it's very unfair to those people who worked their asses off and went through the whole process and paid all kinds of money and waited for so long to become citizens, only for these people to just jump across the river and get all kinds of freebies. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's insulting. Hey, I got Lisa. I'm sorry, I meant to bring her on earlier, and then we got Lewis called and everything. I'm going to bring Lisa. Lisa's another patriot I was on the border with, and she's an outstanding American. Her husband is former military, and he's having to go through his own legal bull crap. Basically, same kind of stuff. When you stick your head above the bushes, the feds are going to come swat you. And Lisa, you there?
I'm here, brother.
How's
Hi, guys.
girl man doing?
He's okay. Well, I'm gonna say the fuck word a lot. It's been a long day, and those motherfucking marshals keep moving him and shifting him, so I can't fucking keep up with where he's at. He has a court date on Friday up here in Montana. They're supposed to be extraditing him here, and it has been 10 days since they were supposed to be extraditing him here. They won't let you call long distance, so I set up phone calls. They won't tell him that he's got phone time. I don't know anybody where he was being held at, so it's been crazy. My husband was born in Germany, and he came to this country to join the military, and he spent 12 and a half years as a ranger. So he's highly trained, and he loves this country, and when I worked on the border, to me that was my combat training. I mean, I was military police, but I never saw combat. So that was my little combat training down there, and it just makes me sick that because we are who we are, that we have to take this crap off of people. I mean, people in this country, not just illegals. I'm talking about Americans that are sound the fuck asleep, that could care less what's happening to us. Unless it affects their own family, they don't give a shit. They see it on the news, they turn the news off, they go to bed, and that's all they hear about it. But when you got to live this, like your wife, Casey, those assholes like Archie promised me that they wouldn't leave her alone on the border when she came down there to get your stuff, and that little shit turned tail and ran and left your wife alone down there. And I called him, and I told him what a piece of shit he was. And I said, if you have something different to say it to me now. Otherwise, I'm going to believe exactly what was said about you. And he said, I hope people don't believe bad about me. I said, no, we believe the truth about you. You're a thief and a liar and a chicken shit. I'm 51 years old, and I worked 600 acres by my fucking self. If I can do that at my age, and I've had 2 heart attacks and 2 bouts of cancer, and I can get down there and hump that property, why can't anybody else? Excuses are just that, excuses. It's one thing to talk, it's another thing to do. And I know my brother Casey, I love you dearly. You've talked with my husband. He loves you very much. And then we're there for you. I'm trying to split my time now. I got to keep up with you and then keep up with him. And the marshals are being little asses about it. And the charges they put on him are so fucking far-fetched, ridiculous. But they're charges that make people go, oh, my God, look what he did. Just like what happened with you, brother. Oh, my God, look what he did. I mean, I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with people. But he's a felon. But fuck you, who cares? That was 20-something years ago. He's a patriot. He's a good man. He comes from a good family. I've talked with his father. I love your dad. He told me, honey, if you need anything, you just call. I love your dad. I love your family, and, our families are in the same boat. And I don't, the tears come and they go, the rage comes and it goes, and, I already up here where I'm at have been threatened. I've been told to be careful who I talk to and what I say, and I pretty much told them all, fuck you, come to my motel room and tell me that. That's my husband. I'll say what I want, and I'll do what I want. If you don't like it, go fuck yourself. We are in for not only a court battle, but a physical battle, it seems like, as well. We're in good old boy bullshit country where people live on farms and they don't know the world exists outside of here. And it's scary that they're going up for us. They're going on the word of a convicted drug addict. And I've been looking for her in this town, and nobody will tell me where she lives because I want to talk with her. I want to know why she's doing this. I want to know what her problem is. But nobody will tell me where she lives. So I've already put it out there.
It might be a good idea, though, that you're not able to get in touch with her because, they can also they could also try to say, well, now you're witness tampering. I'm telling you, the government's real funny about, talking to people, and especially if you might just so happen to be talking about kicking their ass.
Well, yeah, maybe. I wouldn't kick her ass in public. You know me, brother. I don't do well when my own are messed with. I don't do well, especially when it's bullshit. You know, and people don't get it. They're not getting it, that this can happen. If you stand up, if you post on Facebook, okay, being former military, or like a lot of my brothers that are still military, if you post something on Facebook derogatory about Obama, they can come and pick you up. It's ridiculous what they can do. So I post all kinds of negative shit about Obama. Come pick me up.
Oh, shit. I wonder when they're going to pick me up.
I know soon, brother. Hang on, your time's coming. They're going to get every one of us before it's over because we ain't afraid. And I'm going to tell you something. You know why they had so many people there for you, brother? It's not because they have power over you. It's because they're fucking scared of you. They're scared of us, and they better be scared. They better be scared, shaking in their boots if they're going against this Constitution. That's what I say. Yeah, they're going to be out holding signs at my husband's court date. Well, they better move the hell out of my way. I don't have supporters. I'm doing this by myself. I'm going to walk into that courtroom on my own 2 feet and flip all them sign holders off and go sit down and see what happens. You know, his lawyer, God dang, she's awesome. You're right, man. This good man ain't standing alone either. He's got a good lawyer that knows the corruption, and she's not afraid of it. And she's court-appointed.
Well,
she's been in practice for over 20 years.
Same with
I'm sorry, brother.
My lawyer. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, he's a solid. He knows the corruption. He's seen the corruption. He's from the RGB area. He understands very well how corrupt it is. And, he's very knowledgeable, very good. I love the fact that I do have Lewis on my side.
Oh, man, I love this woman. When I first called her, I told her who I was, and she said, well, where is he? I said, I don't know. Last I heard, he was in Florida. The marshals have him. What? Yeah, the marshals have him. And they're moving him around. Of course, my understanding with marshals is they go pick up not just one person, but several people. So who knows how long it's going to take them to get him to Montana.
Yeah, all they have is the 10 days to get him. Once they've got him, then he's in their custody, and they can take as long as they want to.
Oh, no, they found a loophole with that one. They kept him in one jail for 10 days. The marshals came and got him, moved him to the next city jail, so they didn't have to listen to the 10-day clock anymore.
Oh, yeah, because once the federal marshals take possession of you, the 10-day clock is done because now they've got you. It doesn't matter what facility they're holding you in. Once they put their hands on you, they've got you.
That's right. So they
can just move you to another jail. And the 10 days don't start over. It's now they've got you.
That's it.
There is no 10
That's right.
days.
That's right. That's over. They made it in 9 days, as a matter of fact. They got him in 9 days. And he's been in his other jail for 2 weeks now. Yeah.
I mean, all this is a travesty. I mean, there are cartel criminals, all over the place down here.
Yep.
They're living down here. They're starting businesses down here. I mean, criminals, felons.
Yes.
They're getting away with everything.
Loans. They're getting immigrant loans for this stuff. Immigrant loans. They're getting minority loans, immigrant loans that they don't have to fucking pay back. They're just raping us, and we let them.
It's not even right. I mean, the way that they're picking on patriots, trying to serve the country, it's not right.
You got it.
It's just not right.
I'm going to tell y'all straight up. My son is a cartel member, and I will never speak to him again. I got put in a position where, am I a patriot, or am I going to go along with what my son is doing? And I cut off all ties with my son. I told him, if you ever decide to change your life, give me a call. Until then, I never want to hear from you again. That's how much I love this fucking country. And that's how much I believe in our Constitution. And that's how much I believe in the people of this country.
Our country's in a grave state, that's for sure. And that's why it's so important.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
listen, everybody that's going to listen, everybody that hears, please hear our call. We need to come together. We need to assemble. We need to let the government know that we, the people, are the rightful rulers of this country. We
Our
are the
country
ones
is
that
in
they
dire
serve, not we
distress.
serve them.
I've had people in my family all the way back that are veterans. In every war this country has seen, my people have been involved in it. My daughter, my youngest daughter, is a decorated combat veteran. She was military police, well, security forces now in the Air Force, and she served in Kyrgyzstan. So all my generations have served in the wars. You know, we did not fight for a Muslim president to take over our country and turn it into one world order. We fought for our liberties, our freedoms. And I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I have not been relieved of my oath personally. And I've talked to some of my husband's Ranger buddies, and they are fucking livid. They are getting up, and they are calling all their brothers. They are pissed that this would happen to one of their own.
Hey, Casey.
Yeah.
She says that she's standing alone. You think this is something that the Patriotic Warriors can get behind and help support her?
Yeah, well, we need to, that's one thing, and that's one beautiful thing about Melvin Lee of patrioticwarriors.com.
I'm actually friends with him on Facebook.
Melvin is an outstanding man, and he's got a good team with him, and that was the whole point behind Patriotic Warriors, is to try to build a political action committee of patriots so that we push forth the Constitution and the constitutional beliefs that our forefathers had. And Melvin, you know, he put together the website, patrioticwarriors.com. You know, some people, well, he's charging. Well, it costs money to sit at the round table to play the political game.
Right.
You know, this man has spent, I can't tell you how many thousands he spent just on my court date here with the bus and the hotel rooms. I mean, it takes money to be able to fight tyranny. And, you know, a $20, $25 contribution to be a part of a patriot society is not much to ask. You know, people say, oh, well, I don't have $25. Well, you can't go without one fast food or two fast food meals a week. You know, everybody's eating fast food. You know, if you smoke cigarettes, go a couple of days without, or cut down your cigarettes for a couple of days. I mean, if our country's not worth that much to you, then you're really not a patriot. If a patriot cannot find a way to come up with money to contribute, if you can't put your hard-earned money in, or you can't put your time in, then you're not really a patriot. You're just a keyboard warrior. I mean, we have got to commit action, either action through finance, action through bodily movement. We've got to do something to reclaim our republic, to get our unalienable, God-granted rights restored, and quit letting the government dictate to the people. We, the people, are the rightful rulers of this country. They are supposed to answer to us, not us to them.
That's right. The government serves the people, not the other way around.
Casey?
Yeah. That was the whole purpose of our founding.
Casey, I reached out to Melvin earlier. I talked with him. Billy Boyle, who runs Take a Pause for a Cause for veterans, No Veteran Walks Alone, has gotten behind you. They asked for permission to put out that Patriotic Warriors, what we did in support of you, and we are now reaching 250,000 more people today.
Nice.
Awesome.
Now, Melvin said he didn't want this for notoriety and I said, look, brother, if we can put it out there, what we're doing, and we can get more support, and it's going to bring in more help that we can get behind other patriots in trouble, let's do it. And he agreed. So I want you to know that today we reached 250,000 more people, and it's 250,000 people who will stand with us. And like I said, we're looking to get behind other patriots. So Casey, I want you to talk with me later about this woman's situation. All right?
He
Okay,
has my
brother.
phone number. Him and I have known each other a very long time. We worked on the border together, and him and my husband have had very long conversations before they snatched him up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just
Casey?
a travesty. Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm gonna have to hang up now. But it was
Okay, brother.
it was real nice being on the show and talking to y'all.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and talking to us. The show, I'm fixing to have to wind it down. We ran over our 2-hour time limit. We're in overtime. But, whenever it comes to talking about God, freedom, and country, I mean, there's you can't put a time limit on that. So, but I appreciate
go all day.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
appreciate
well,
everybody
God bless
that
y'all.
participated. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, everybody.
And we'll be praying for you over here, Casey.
I appreciate it, man. And I'll be in touch with everybody on Facebook. If you want to get a hold of me, you want to talk to me, I'm
And I'll
KC
call you after
Massey
a while,
on
brother.
Facebook. Okay,
And I'll call,
Lisa, thank
we'll
you.
talk later tonight, and I'll give you the details for him.
Okay.
Well,
All
have a
right,
good
brother.
day.
Thanks for the support for my brother.
I love you, brother, a bunch.
I love you too, man. I appreciate you. Well, guys,
Give your
we'll
wife
go
a
ahead
big hug. Tell her I love her, and your dad too.
Okay, I sure will. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to play Proud to Be an American, and then we'll call it a night. God bless you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank y'all for coming and caring about what's going on. I really appreciate the support. I love all you guys. I love this country, and we can do this, and we don't have to be violent and destructive to do it. We just have to stand together, arm in arm, and stand for liberty. Stand for the right of our forefathers fought for. We just need to come together, people. This keyboard warrior stuff it's at an end. We need to stand up. God bless. I appreciate you, Bandana. I appreciate Frogman. I appreciate James. I appreciate all the people that came out and supported me today in court. I want to thank Lewis again, my lawyer. God bless America, man. And we're going to play Proud to Be an American. And until next time, people, love you. God bless America.
To the ones who lost the ones they love, we pray for you each day. Our nation's heart goes out to you to help you find your way. A brave new song of freedom can be heard across this land. The walls may fall and tumble down, but united we will stand. Be proud to be an American, American. Stand strong, sing out we're American, American. Oh, say, can you see, we fight for love and liberty. We're proud to be American. Courageous souls of yesterday fought bravely on this land. We keep our heroes in our hearts, our future in their hands. Tomorrow's dream will see the day, our children know the way. So teach them pride and love inside, so they'll grow strong and stay. Be proud to be an American, American. Stand strong, sing out loud, we're American, American. Oh, say, can you see, from town to town and sea to sea, we're proud to be American. The spirit of our people is the rock we're built upon. Our colors wave to honor you, the strength to carry on. stronger every day. There's no place like America. God bless the USA.